coming in on this smooth Wednesday. High stakes takes. Back with another podcast. Champions League match day 6. Day 2. The last day of the Champions League. Let it rock. Groups A, B, C, and D. Last matchups of the day. It's gonna be a dicey one. We got 6 on the board for you. You know what we're doing over here at the High Stakes Takes podcast. We're getting to it. We're putting in that work so y'all could be cashing out along with the buddies, along with the dogs. So the first game we got for you is Ajax at home versus Atalanta. This game, it should be a good one. They both put up goals. They both got a couple injuries, which could hinder that. But it's a game where they're both battling for position. On the Ajax side of the ball, David Neres, he's out, along with Kudus. That's going to be dicey. But they got Anthony up front, and they got Tadic up the middle. So they should be good to put up at least 2 goals. But you know, Ajax, they just gave up 2 goals at home. So against a Twente team, which in league play you could see that, but it's dicey. You got Atalanta, Gosens and Alexei. They both just tested positive for COVID, so they'll be out. Ajax, they're coming off that road loss, which it's dicey when you lose in the Champions League, but they won their previous 5 matches by 18-2 on goal difference. So coming into a game where they need to win to advance, and they're at home, they should get the job done with the 2-1 victory, especially with Atalanta missing Gosens and Alexei. They're both missing a couple players that are in top form, but they can score and give up goals. So I'm locking in the added market over 3.5. Added that in. And the last game finished 2-2. So, and that was when Ajax traveled to Italy to play Atalanta. So add in the over 3.5 to your parlay. Lock that in because you know how we get into it over here. The next game, it's on fire. Real Madrid at home versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. It's going to be one where even though Real is missing Hazard, they're missing Valverde, they're missing Mariano, they're getting Sergio Ramos back, they're getting Daniel Carvajal back. That's good for their defense. And Artie Gz and Jovic, they both returning to the bench. So those options, I don't know if Carvajal, he'll be able to finish the full 90. He may come off in the 65th, 70th minute. And Artie Gz, he's more of an attacking right back. So at least they got those right back options back. And on Borussia Mönchengladbach, they're getting Ben Sebaini back. He had COVID. He's been out a month. He probably won't start, but him coming off the bench with that pace should be able to stretch Real Madrid out. This is a game where Real Madrid favored -163. The over-under is 3.5, but those odds are set at +120. I think it's going to hit at least 4 goals. Probably going to finish the same result as last time, 2-2. I wouldn't add the draw to your parlay, even though it'll boost it like a motherfucker, like we seen over the weekend with that plus 4,900 bet hit. But I would add the plus 3.5. I would add that to the parlay. But the draw, if you want to do a side bet, add the draw plus the over 3.5. That's at plus 736. So that shit's cash. Real Madrid probably don't have enough in attack to score enough goals where they're going to beat Mönchengladbach because Thuram ripped them apart in their last game. Real Madrid got lucky with the tie, but Madrid being at home, needing that win versus a high-paced Mönchengladbach team, it's going to be a game where they're going to give up goals, but they're also going to score goals because Nico Evaldi, he's hurt in defense for Mönchengladbach, so him having a knock, he will still start, but he's questionable, and a player coming in who's already injured versus a Real Madrid team who can get after you because you have Vinicius and Rodrigo. So having those two in attack, that's high pace all day. So add the over 3.5 to the parlay. It's a 2-2 draw. That's my projection. Add that to the side bet for plus 736. Do not add it to the parlay unless you're feeling risky business, and you never know, that shit could cash the fuck out. And guess what? You ain't even gotta thank me later. Next game we got, same group. Shit's dicey. Shit is dicey over in Group B. Gladbach, they're chilling on top with 8 points. Donetsk and Madrid both have 7 points. And Inter is chilling in fourth with 5 points. 5 points. They only got 5 fucking points with 1 win in group play. They're coming in a game at home versus Shakhtar Donetsk where they're missing Vidal, they're missing Kolarov, Vincino's out in the midfield, and Nico Barrera, he's a major doubt. But he'll probably start because in a knockout game, you dream for that shit. Even if you got a knock, just like Evaldi, he's going to be in there. So that's one of the things where it's risky for Inter in the midfield. Already missing Vecino, Vidal being out, Kolarov on that wing back, set piece role. That's going to be tough. But you got Lukaku, you got Lautaro Martinez, you got Alexis Sanchez. They're on fire over there. So Inter's coming in needing a win to advance, but they're coming off 3 wins. 3 wins where they got 9 goals, only gave up 3 goals. So coming in on fire, but Shakhtar on the other side of the ball coming in off a 5-1 league win and a 2-zip Champions League win versus Real Madrid. That shit's huge. Goal difference of 7-1. Coming in top form, you got Tyzone, you got Marlos. That shit's on fire. You got Solomon playing in top form. This is a game where Inter will probably pull it off because they have better players, better quality players, and that's just how it goes when you're playing a team from Ukraine. But it's like we seen with Dynamo Kiev yesterday. I projected the over on that game. I also projected them to win. Yes, they did win, but we fucking lost on the over because they only put up 1 goal. So that shit was kind of trash, but it just shows you the type of quality players in those like random lower leagues that mix in the Europa League and sometimes mix into the later 8 groups of 4 stages. So in this game, I'm adding the over 3.5. Both teams coming in, scoring goals, won their last 3. Both in top form. Add the over 3.5 to the parlay. And I'm definitely adding the added market bet of over 4.5 because I'm projecting a 3-2 win by Inter. And Inter, they're coming off a game versus Borussia Mönchengladbach where if you were watching it, I bet the over. I thought it was going to finish 2-2 just like this game. Ended up finishing 3-2 Inter. But it was a game where Mönchengladbach, they went down 3-1. And I'm like, fuck, this bet's fucked up. I check back like not even 5-10 minutes later. All of a sudden it's 3-2. 3-2. I'm like, yo, I gotta watch the game. For some reason, I feel like if I watch, they score goals, right? So I'm watching the game. And all of a sudden, they get an attack. It's like the 90th minute. This dude shoots it just because the striker was chilling barely offside. And the ball went in his path. He moved out the way right away. Didn't even try to like deflect the ball. He knew. Moved out of the way right away. And they fucking called it offside because he was interfering with the goalie. The goalie was froze. He didn't even know where the shot was going, if it was getting deflected. Didn't even try for the ball. It was fucking bullshit. And we should have hit that one too at the High Stakes Takes podcast. But fuck it. Going into this day, this shit's going to be on fire. So projecting the 3-2 Inter win, I'll take the added market over 4.5. Those odds are set at plus 225. That'll probably drop, so get it early, but definitely add it. The next game may not be as big of a game on paper, but a game where I'm staying away unless you add in the over 3.5. Bayern's coming in. They're missing Javi Martinez. They're missing Lucas Hernandez. They're missing Jerome Boateng. And Joshua Kimmich is out in midfield. So that's a game where Mönchengladbach, they're on fire. The German league, they put up a lot of goals. Bayern just tied, and we fucking hit that too, but they just tied versus Leipzig 3-3. So that's a league where they put up a lot of goals, but it's a game where you're missing a lot in the midfield. They already locked in first. So Lokomotiv Moscow, they're missing 5 players. They're coming in, really got no shot at making the Champions League. So I'd stay away from this one. This will probably hit the under. And if you absolutely have to, I'm staying away. But if you absolutely degenerate status, add the under to it. So that shit's on fire. It's a game where that shit's dicey. Toliso's questionable. Alphonso Davies questionable. I think the final fucking verdict on that one, we just staying away from that one. Fuck it, right? There's no reason to risk that shit. Boom. That's it. We throwing that bitch out the window like Jordan. So, next game we got for you. This has huge implications. RB Salzburg, they're at home in a dicey game versus Atletico Madrid. RB Salzburg, they're plus 230 on the money line. Madrid's plus 105, just about even. The over-under set at 2.5, which I don't think is going to happen because Madrid traveling on the road, that's going to be hard to put up goals. Especially when you're traveling to Austria from Spain. That gets dicey. They start having flares when they're chilling in the bus, traveling to the game. That shit gets hectic. You never know what the fuck could happen, especially in these COVID times. So, traveling is never good for, especially a top-tier team. That's why I'm staying away from that Liverpool game, traveling to Midtjylland. I'm away from that one. On the Red Bull side of the ball, we got Diarra, Diakite, and Bernede. They're all out for Red Bull Salzburg. Atletico Madrid, Konagbia, he's ineligible due to a transfer because he already played in the Champions League. But Lodi, Diego Costa, Verjalco, and Carrasco, they're all out for Atletico Madrid. So I'm staying away from the over-under. It's a game where I can't call a winner. Red Bull, they're coming off a 2-0 league win at home. It's dicey. It's a dicey fucking game. Probably not going to have a lot of goals. So I'm adding the under to the parlay. Red Bull probably wouldn't put up goals because Atletico Madrid, they're on fire right now. They're unbeaten in their last 10 games. It's going to be hard to put up goals against them. And Madrid, just in their attack, with all those players out, I can't call it. They'll probably win 1-2 nothing maybe. But I'll definitely slam the under on the parlay. The next game, Olympiacos versus Porto. I think this is a game where we could, it looked fucking good. This game right here, Olympiacos at home versus Porto. Olympiacos is favored, which I don't know why. Minus 125 on the money line. Porto away, plus 333. And Porto, they can't finish first and they can't finish third, so they're pretty much locked in. And they have Pepe and Mariano out, but it's a game where you're going to have Artie Gz in there. You're probably going to have Corona in there. So, over-under set at 2.5, that's plus 115. A game where Olympiacos, they're going to go all out because they're battling for third. They're tied on points, knowing Marseille are playing a city team with nothing to play for. So, if they end up losing, Marseille could very well tie for a city in advance. So, Olympiacos is going to at least want to make the Europa League. So, they'll go all out, try to at least tie versus Porto. Porto's going to put up goals just based off that fact. that they're going to be playing open. So take the over on 2.5, add it to the parlay. I'm projecting a 2-2 draw. I don't think Olympiacos got enough to get it done, but I'd stay away from both money lines and add the over 2.5 to the parlay. Because that's how we do it over here at the High Stakes Takes podcast. That's the Champions League wrap-up. Shit's dicey today. I can't wait for 12:55. We got Liverpool playing. I probably won't be watching that game. But they'll probably get a 1-0 win. Something random. Gonna have all their academy players in there. Kelleher has been playing out of his fucking mind. His stock's just boosting. So, Adrian, he might get sold. You never know. Next year, he probably won't be on Liverpool. So, Kelleher, he could be the runner-up to Alisson. You never know. You never know. He's been playing crazy. The last part of the show, we got top ads of the week. These are people you need to lock in. If you are in the playoffs, I can't say the same. I'm in 1 of 3 leagues. This 2020 COVID season been wild. But if you win the playoffs, the top 4 ads you need to get you to the championship. We'll start off on the defensive side of the ball. Arizona, a team where they play well on defense with Buda Baker and all them cats, but they also give up points too. So it's a dicey one, but then you go and look at the matchup and you know it's locked in. They're only 20% owned in all leagues. So in a playoff matchup where they're traveling to the Giants, where they have a backup quarterback in Colt McCoy, only put up 17 versus Seattle, and we know Seattle has a trash defense. In the next game, week 15, they got Philly at home, which they're going to have a rookie quarterback in there, and I hope he does well, but you know how rookie quarterbacks do, especially a quarterback who's not a complete passer, right? We could say that just based off him getting benched and moving to Oklahoma. So, Arizona, top defense, only 20% rostered. Make sure you get them on your roster. And if you don't already have a top defense, this is sneaky, man. Lock it in. And the next one, and it sucks because it's based off injury, but we got Frank Gore, who left with a concussion. Ty Johnson, backup running back, he came in, had 22 rushes, 104 yards, and a touchdown. That's a hell of a game versus Oakland. And he even added 2 catches. But the biggest thing about that, he ran 14 routes. So, that's just opportunity right there. Opportunity is knocking at your door. It's what it is. It's what it is. He's only 3% owned. If Frank Gore misses, and he's up there in age, we could say that. But Frank Gore, he'll probably miss the rest of the season. No reason to return and rush him back from injury. He knows that. So, Ty Johnson, only 3% owned. Top waiver out of the week. Make sure you lock him in. The next couple ones are players who above 40% owned, 41% owned, and 49% owned in all leagues. Michael Gallup. If you need a wide receiver or a flex play, Michael Gallup coming off the last 2 weeks, 19 targets, 13 catches, and a tutty. He's a solid flex play. These next 3 weeks, he got Cincy at home, he got San Francisco, and he got Philly. All games where they'll probably take out Amari Cooper, the top option. CeeDee Lamb, we know he's going to do his thing. He's a beast. But then Gallup, he's just going to eat based off the fact that he's basically that 2 receiver if Cooper gets double covered. And if Cooper gets hurt, which we've seen in injury history, but knock on wood, hope he doesn't. But if that were to happen, we seen 2020 season, this shit been wild. Gallup would be a top option and be picked up in all leagues. So to get ahead of the curve with 3+ matchups for your playoffs, lock in Michael Gallup, only 41% rostered in all leagues. Antonio Gibson, He suffered a toe injury in that upset versus Pittsburgh. He went out early and didn't return. Peyton Barber, he did end up getting a touchdown, but only had 20 yards, which is trash. But McKissick, one thing I love to see, McKissick back. He had 10 targets, 10 catches, and 70 yards in the passing game. That's what we need. And having 3+ matchups where they're going to put up points because the other team is at San Francisco versus Seattle in the trash defense and versus Carolina, which Carolina's probably going to put up points. Lock McKissick. If McKissick, which has probably been dropped in your league, lock him the fuck in. If you don't get him, you waking up like, you dig what I'm saying? I don't want to wake up like that. I know you don't. Put in your waiver wire. Only 49% rostered. 3+ matchups. Lock in your playoffs. Make it to the championship. And cash the fuck out. Because that's what we doing at the High Stakes Takes podcast. We got a spicy show coming up. It's going to be a special one. Artie Gz, Luke Paid, gonna be on a podcast coming soon. Content Kings, we dropping it. And on that note, we out this motherfucker. Peace and love.